Hey there, Lady here. It's been a while, so let me catch you up. Early last year, I announced that I'll be attending art school, and to be honest, I still can't believe it's been almost a year since I got the offer. Everything after that seemed to fly by, and before I knew it, the time to pack my bags, say goodbye to family, loved ones, most of my art books, and travel 12 hours cross continent, not including the 9-hour layover, finally arrived. To be honest with you, I had an entire list of content planned around moving and my first days of art school, but as the universe has it, things barely ever go how we plan. So instead, I've decided to sum it up into a short video diary as an update on where I've been in the past few months. I arrived in Montreal on the 23rd of September. I didn't have a place to stay, but a family I knew was kind enough to let me stay at their home while I searched for one. Since orientation was on the 26th, I only had about 4 days after I arrived to settle in before I was thrown into socializing and meeting new faces. All jokes aside, it was a thrilling experience. This was my first time being surrounded by like-minded individuals, sharing our opinions on art and the creative industry. For the first week, we had 3 classes. Sketching for production, which was basically an introduction to general perspective. To be honest, I wasn't too confident going into this class, but surprisingly, it turned out to be one of my favorite classes so far. The first week was very rudimentary though. We drew some cubes in perspective and focused mainly on perspective terminology. That week, we had to work traditionally in our sketchbook, and honestly, it was really weird having to draw perspective grids traditionally again. I don't think I've done that since secondary school. Our second class was anatomy study, and this year my set was privileged enough to have our classes over at an atelier. I remember how I felt going up the creaky wooden stairs and walking into a room full of easels, oil paintings and sculptures. I am not kidding when I say it actually felt magical, especially since I had never been to an atelier or anything similar prior to then. I will admit I did struggle a bit in this class. We had to draw all our figures on a large 18 by 24 sketchbook, and best believe your girl was not used to drawing on that scale. The class was also our longest class, and we would spend about 5 hours constructing and drawing the figure in one single pose for the entire class. That I was also not used to. Luckily, I found myself adapting to this new method, and although I might never actually draw on that scale for my personal work, I do see the benefits. The final class that week was Introduction to Concept Art, and this was probably the class I was most excited for. It was such a new experience seeing concept art displayed on the screen and breaking down what makes a good design or not. We actually had one more class that didn't start until 2 weeks after, and I eventually planned to make a video sharing all the art I created during my first term of art school. The following weeks after mainly consisted of classes, homework, and house hunting. But unfortunately, this was a lot more difficult than I expected. Let me tell you, trying to find a suitable place in the middle of September isn't as easy as you may think. At least, it wasn't for me. You see, on the surface, we see a girl who's finally achieving her dreams of being an art student. But what you don't see is an overwhelming stress of trying to fit into a new environment while juggling schoolwork, house hunting, and a few other personal stuff thrown in there all at once. I had days where I would question everything and if I had made the right decision. Every time I felt like I was finally getting somewhere, the doors will slam shut right in my face. It didn't feel nice. But like everything in life, these moments don't last forever, and on the 4th of October, I eventually found a perfect place for me. While planning this video, I struggled with what I wanted to say and leave out. Inevitably, I decided not to focus too much on the negatives and make this a more positive video, mainly because it's difficult trying to remember moments that felt like my lowest. The good news is, I'm at a much better place, surrounded by the most supportive and amazing classmates, and finally living in a small space I can call my home. I'm extremely excited to see where this journey leads, and even more excited to get back into the flow of creating content for you. So, if you're interested in tagging along in this new adventure, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and let me know down in the comments what type of content you would like to see from me moving forward. I'm always open to suggestions. On that note, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!